Well, welcome everybody. My name is Tracy Simoniak and I'm in Drumheller, and my team is called the Badlands Beauties, and we're here together with Paige O'Brien's Lilies of the North. And on Monday's leadership call, we had the absolute pleasure of being introduced to a wonderful lady by the name of Lara Bolton, who is our field supervisor for Distributor Services of Canada, and she is from Vancouver. And as soon as we got done that call, Paige and I quickly got on the phone to each other and said, hey, we need to reach out to Miss Lara because of her years and years of experience in direct sales and network marketing. With our teams being so new into the industry and not having a lot of marketers on our teams, sometimes most are first-time marketers, our first home-based business owners, we felt that she would be a wonderful mentor, a guide, something that we could take some tips from to guide us to the next stage in our business with Senegence. Because of the explosion, there's excitement, fear, there's all these emotions we're going through, and we know we're at the right place at the right time with the right company, but we just need a little bit of guidance from, why not, Lara Bolton, who has got 28 years of experience in direct sales. She has been #1 earners many times. But what Paige and I both felt was very important is we could feel her passion about helping the field and wanting each person in Senegence to succeed for whatever their why or their goal was. So our call was very productive the other day with her, and she gave Paige and I each a homework assignment, and we are here to move our teams and take some valuable information away from this call. So welcome to our call, Lara.
Hi, guys. Yeah, my name is Lara Bolton, and I am so honored to be on the call with you ladies. I was telling Tracy and Paige, this is my very first Zoom call with Senegence with any team. So I'm really excited and honored that you would invite me. I'm actually in my 28th year of network marketing direct selling, and I've been doing this a really long time, both on the corporate side and in the field. And so, I like to think that I've learned a few things along the way. And one of the things I'm certainly passionate about, Tracy, that you touched on is helping you become a success. It's why I've picked the corporate side. It's the juice for me. I love working with all of you. I want to do whatever it takes to help you become a success. And so what we talked about the other day, Tracy and Paige, is what do you do when you get a brand new distributor that's super excited, and are you truly giving them the exact steps for duplication? See, every single thing we do in this business requires duplication. And what that looks like can't be different for you than it is for the brand new person. Now, I understand that a lot of people on the call and in Senegence may be super social media savvy. I happen to be somebody that coaches and trains on social media management and reputation management. However, if I was to join Senegence today, I would never start off and lead with a social media introduction to all my friends and family. Why? Because if you understand duplication, you will understand how that is not successfully duplicable for everybody. Let me explain a little bit. I may, because I've been in the industry a really long time, go on Facebook, for example, and post some awesome picture of lipstick, and I may get, 13 or 25 different responses, people saying that they're interested. Now, most of those people, because they know, love, and trust me, because they actually actively follow me, because I actually have influence over them, may help me become a successful distributor in Senegence. Does that make sense? However, the brand new person that I recruit that's living in Drumheller, that only actively goes on Facebook to, maybe post about her kids or her grandkids, or, once in a while about some travel or an exciting little quote, doesn't have the same influence on social media that I have. And so she may go and she may see that I had success on social media and think, oh, that's the way I'm going to build my Senegence business. And she goes out and makes the attempt to do what I did, because remember, any brand new person is always going to ask you, how did you get started? What did you in fact do? And if I was to tell them, oh, all I ever did is a bunch of posts on Facebook and my business blew up, and it doesn't happen for them, they're going to be wondering what they're doing wrong, or they're going to be thinking Senegence doesn't work. So the goal on this call is to give you some fundamental tools that if you implement, you rinse and repeat and teach everybody else to do the same, you will in very short order, you will have a duplicatable business. Now, please don't take the conversation or the example that I just gave as saying that you can't go on social media. But first, I want you to do these next steps prior to ever posting on social media, so you don't go verbally vomit and waste your list that is on social media, okay? So the very first thing, do you want me to go right into it then, Tracy, what I would have everybody do?
Yes.
The very first thing that I want everybody to sit down and do is write out your why. Okay, now I know that it sounds cheesy. I know that you think you don't need to take pen to paper and do it. And I also know that many of you are going to think that your why is your goal. Okay, a why is not a goal. A goal is I'd like to earn another $1,000 a month, or I'd like to make my car payment. Okay, that's a goal. But when you're in the situation like I was in when I first got started in network marketing as a single mom that was feeling that absolute shame, guilt, and remorse every time my children, I get emotional about it still, every time my children would bring home a field trip notification, whether it was $35 or $200, and payday wasn't for 3 days or 10 days, or regardless of when payday was coming, I was never going to be able to write that check instantly. I wrote that down as my why, okay? I no longer wanted to wake up feeling that guilt, shame, and remorse that I couldn't satisfy my children's, what I believed were their needs, without any effort, okay? Now, it wasn't about the money I wanted to put in my bank account. It was about the feelings behind it that I had, the anxiety that would build when my kids would walk through the door and I knew I was going to have to call the school and ask for some kind of, charity or something. I was just so done with that. When I wrote that why out, I just got goosebumps everywhere. When I wrote that why out and I put it on my wall right by my phone, because back then we didn't have laptops, guys. We didn't work. But I wrote that every single time I had some excuse, like I was exhausted from working my full-time job, or I was just like, I just needed a weekend off. I would read that why, I would get those goosebumps, I would feel that anxiety feeling and remember what it felt like, and I would push through. And I would keep putting one foot in front of the other and doing the actions consistently that would help me become a success. So the very first thing I want you to do is sit down and write out your why. Second thing I want you to do is ask your husband and your children what their whys are. How important is it when you're going to be taking some time away from the family now, being a busy entrepreneur, to have them sign up and buy into what their whys are, right? You want them to buy into what you're going to be doing. So ask your hubby, hey, if you could have anything, right? If this business could bring us as a family absolutely anything, what would it be? And I promise you that what will come from that is a support system that you didn't know was there. When your kids write out their why and you post them on your office wall and you remind them that mommy's got to take this extra call or got to head out to that meeting one more time, but it's because you're working towards those whys that you have collectively as a family, there's a real magic that starts to happen. Okay, now we've got your whys done. Well, in order to build a business, you're going to have to be talking to people. Here is the very specific steps that you need to do. I had Paige and Tracy do them just the other day. Can everybody hear me over the kennel and the dog? Can we get this woman to mute? I'm sorry, I can't see her name.
Bree?
Yeah. Bree, could you mute your computer, hon?
I'm sorry, I thought I was muted.
No, that's okay. Awesome. Thanks so much. Awesome. Brad, I want you on the call. I just want to make sure that everybody can hear. Okay, so here's the specific steps. The next thing you got to do is you got to write a list. I know you've been told that 1,000 times. I'll tell you this, in my personal experience to getting involved in network marketing, everything that I'm sharing with you right now, I didn't do, and I failed miserably for my first 5 or 6 years at attempting network marketing because I was unteachable and I was uncoachable. And what ended up happening is things like this: write out your list. I thought, well, no, I'll just call people from my cell phone. You know, I would have had the attitude of, no, I'll just call people and contact them on my Facebook, right? But the reality is, actually physically writing out your list will be that first act of humility, okay? And humility, I promise, will serve you well in the months and years to come. So I want you to write your list, but I'm not just asking you to write any list. I want you to write a list of every single person that you know over the age of 18. And you know what I know is going to happen? All of you, all of us, we've all done it, are going to make decisions for the people that should go on or off that list. I know exactly what you're going to be thinking. You're going to pick up your phone, you're going to go A through Z, and you're going to go, oh, she would never be interested in network marketing. They're way too successful. I'm not putting them on the list. I could never talk to him about Senegence. She could never afford this lip sense, so I'm not going to put her on the list. We all do it, and I know it. But you know what I'm going to share with you? When I got involved in network marketing, I had been living on the streets for almost 4 years, okay? Why do I tell you that? Because somebody listened to the piece of advice that I just shared with you and invited me to my first network marketing meeting. So I am living proof that that piece of advice makes sense and works, because I've gone on to earn other people millions of dollars and myself six-figure monthly income. People, you have to picture this. When they were wondering whether or not I should go on the list, I had no experience. I had no education. I had never had any success. People, I had no money, and they put me on the list. So please stop making decisions for the people that are going to go on your list, and write a list of everybody that you know. Once you've written your list, share it with your upline, okay? You've got to share it with your upline to help them be accountable to you, and then allow them to hold you accountable. That list is going to be your working engine. Now, what do you do with the list? I want you to sort it. Okay? Sorting a list, it goes like this. I invite you to sort them using the categories A, B, and C. Now let's talk about what those are. Your A's are going to be people that are just like you. They're open-minded. They're interested in opportunities. They've got big dreams. They know that there could be a vehicle that could help them to get to their dreams. They're just like you, okay? You wouldn't be on the call if you weren't an A, because you were obviously open-minded. Your B's are going to be the people in your life that are the complainers. We still love them, but every single time you talk to them, you know who they are. They complain. They wish they had a new car or a bigger house or could afford to go on a vacation. You know, they're not bad people. It's just that they are simply your complainers, okay? You got to mark all your A's on your list and then all your B's, and then you'll get to your C's. And your C's are the people that are generally happy with their lives. Typically, your C's are going to be people that are overworked and underpaid, kind of like your nurses, your teachers. They like their life. They're not complainers. I don't know if they fall in the category of open-minded or not, but they, you know, when you've talked to them and had conversations with them, they do wish they could have afforded to take their kids away on spring break. They just couldn't get the time off, or they just couldn't afford it. But they're certainly not in that real complainer category, if that makes sense. So now you know what an A, what a B, and what a C is, okay? Again, you take your pen, you mark all your A's, you mark all your B's, and you mark all your C's. Then you're going to look at your list, and you're going to say, that's a big list. Because anybody on this call that has Facebook, I know you have more than 100 people that went on that list, probably closer to 500, 600, 700, maybe even over 1,000, okay? That's a really big list. I want you to take some time and look at your list and decide who is your dream team, your top 10 people. Now, these are the people that you would want to vacation with, okay? The people you want to vacation with, the people you want to spend time with. I want you to take them off that big list, and I want you to place them on a much more manageable list Call them your dream team. You will be adding to your dream team constantly, but what it does is it reduces that anxiety that may come from that overwhelming list. Where do I start? How do I get started? And moves it into a much more manageable bite-sized piece. Now you've got your 10s, and it's going to be made up of your A's, your B's, and your C's, okay? With your A's, B's, and C's, you are going to start making calls. Now, it's important that at the outset, you are busy, okay? You want to invite them to a demo party, for example, okay? But you're way too busy to get into a long, drawn-out chat right now. So starting with your A's, okay, you contact them and you say something like this. Hey, Terry, when we were talking a couple of weeks ago or yesterday or whatever the case may be, and you mentioned that you wished you could have afforded to take your kids away for spring break, or you told me about your flat tire and how it was a pain in the butt, or, you know, don't get caught in the semantics. Something you've done and had a conversation with, right, in the recent past, you say to them, were you serious about that, or were you just joking? Okay, really important that you say it very specifically about like that. Because the moment, if they said it, they were serious. They may have said to you they hate their job, or they had to work overtime last week, or, you know, you're tired of working overtime, whatever it is, however you get that conversation rolling. Were you serious about that, or were you just joking? They're obviously going to say serious because they said it. So as soon as you get serious, you say, awesome. I think I have something that could help you with that, or I think I have something that could solve that for you. I don't have any time to get into it right now, but what I'd like to do is get together with you face to face, and because I'd love to run it by you and get your opinion, okay? People like to feel valued. They like to believe that they're important. And you say to them, I'd like to run it by you. I'd like to get your opinion, okay? Then you invite them to the close. And here's how you do it. You say, I've got time later in the week on Wednesday afternoon or Friday morning. Which of those work best? Now, you can pick any 2 time slots, okay? But you can't say, you can never, ever, ever say, when's a good time to get together? Or are you available Thursday? Both of those would put them in the driver's seat. And what happens when you give people choices, you know, Tuesday night or Friday morning, whatever the choices are, they either have to pick one or they don't come back with a no, and they simply will say, well, neither of those work for me. And you can respond with, what time does work for you then? Okay? And so now you've got a scheduled appointment. What I'd invite you to do is then do it the way that you do it with Senegence. Meet them one-on-one, share just enough about what's been going on for you that you can invite them to a demo where they can actually see the value of Senegence in a group setting or with at least one other person, okay? Now, the reason you want to do that and never, ever, ever just demo alone is because you will miss the opportunity to capitalize on what we call in the industry third-party validation. Mm-hmm. It's an actual science. You can get together with your friends and family one-on-one, and you can be talking about the greatest thing since sliced bread, which I think Senegence is, and they will glaze over, and they will only listen to about half of what is being said in the conversation. It's unfortunate. It's just the way we operate as humans. Bring a complete stranger, or have a complete stranger from a different walk of life show some interest in the conversation when you're doing a demo, and all of a sudden their guard goes down a little bit. You reduce their resistance organically, and you didn't even know it was happening. They don't know it's happening for sure. So that's how you get started with the list. That's how you sort your list. And believe it or not, you're going to use exactly the same script for your B's and your C's, and then you'll go back to your list, go right through your A's. My suggestion is that you have at least one demo booked on one of those times, okay, so that you can feed people into your demo. This industry, this business is building to the next event. Your events should be demos, regularly scheduled demos. If you're looking, now everything you do, everything you earn is going to be based on your personal efforts, okay? There are no guarantees in income here. However, if you have big goals, remember goals are not your whys, and you plan on reaching them without putting a lot of effort in, meaning you don't have regularly scheduled demos, I'm here to tell you that you will never reach big goals. You must consistently be hosting, facilitating, and supporting demos for people in your team and personally. Does that make sense, everybody? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, there's one other thing I want to cover before we're done with this call, because if you look back to your list, you're going to find that there is a huge group of people, because if you listen to what I said and put every single person on the list, you're going to see that there's all kinds of people from your Facebook, for example, that you haven't talked to in 5, 10, 20, 30 years if you're me. I'm in my 30th year since graduation, okay? The funny thing is I never graduated, but I still attend the reunions. Anyways, it's 30 years, right? And there's people that are on my Facebook. I don't know if they fit in an A, B, or a C. What are you possibly going to do to re-engage in conversation with them, be authentic, but not verbally vomit all over them about Senegence when you have no idea what's going on in their life? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to use a technique in the industry that we call FORM. Write it down. F stands for family. O stands for occupation. R stands for recreation. And M is what matters most. Okay? You are going to have that sitting on a piece of paper, and you are either going to Facebook message them. I actually will strongly encourage you to find their numbers and actually pick up the phone and call them. And you are going to re-engage in an authentic conversation, asking them questions about their family, their occupation, their recreation, and then you'll discover what matters most. Take notes. Here's how a conversation like that might go. Hey, Terry, we haven't talked in forever. How's the family doing? I saw your kids graduated on Facebook. I cannot believe how time has flown. Were those your grandkids online? Do your mom and dad still live in the old neighborhood? Any question specific to family, and listen, okay? This conversation is not about you. It is not self-serving or self-centered in any way, shape, or form. Then you're going to move into questions about occupation. Are you still at that job? What are you doing these days for work? How do you like it? You know, whatever that is, you're going to engage them in conversation about them, about work, okay? Summer's coming up. Do you have any plans for the summer? I know you live in a really small town. Do they have a yoga studio there? I just took up yoga. Do you guys camp? Does your family do things? Are you planning a vacation this summer? It's a really great time to figure out questions around recreation. Continue to write notes, okay? By the end of those FOR, you will have uncovered and discovered what matters most, okay? When you uncover and discover what matters most, okay, I want you to wrap the conversation up. You haven't mentioned a single word about Senegence. And I want you to pay attention to your notes and call back 2 weeks later. And it's really important that you wait 2 weeks. And guess what you're going to say to Terry when you call her back 2 weeks later? You're going to look at your notes. You're going to remind yourself that the fortune's in the follow-up, so you're not going to forget to call these people. And you're going to say, hey, Terry, you know what? When we were talking a couple weeks ago and you were saying you were totally overworked and underpaid, or you were saying that you couldn't get away this summer with your family because you can't get the time off, whatever came up in the conversation, and I promise you something will come up, you say to her, were you serious about that or were you just joking? You know why? I think I have something that could solve that for you. I'd love to get your opinion about it. Why don't we have coffee later in the week? I've got time Wednesday afternoon or Saturday morning. Which of those work best for you? And that's exactly how you deal with the form calls. You re-engage in a conversation that's not about you. You walk them through the FOR and you find out what the M is. You wait 2 weeks, you call them back, and you use the same script. How's that, ladies? That's how I get everybody started.
Well, that's amazing.
There's lots more, but I won't get into it today because if I do, you're going to glaze over. What I'd like to see happen and what I had Terry and Paige do is everybody on this call write their list, sort their list, go through their whys and their family and children's whys, share it with their uplines. And once that's done and Terry and Paige can get back to me about how the homework's being completed, we can schedule another conference call, a Zoom call, and I can walk you along on the process. How's that sound?
And it's Tracy, but that sounds awesome.
Tracy. Sorry.
That's okay. My sister's name is Terry. So
okay, thanks, hon. Cool. Okay, well, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate that you guys would jump on a call with me tonight. And I got to say, I'm just honored to be part of the Synergens family. I'm really excited, and I really feel like I found a home.
Awesome. Well, we're thrilled to have you. And I know Paige was having some challenges getting on the call as well. So on behalf of Badlands Beauties and the Lilies of the North, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us and give us these nuggets. And it's onwards and upwards, and we look forward to the next call with you, Lara.
So exciting, guys. I can't wait to see your success, okay? Please don't hesitate to share it, and I will let you know that I have a brand new Lara Bolton Facebook account with it's actually got a headshot. It's not a personal photo, a headshot, sorry. Feel free to add me. Tracy and Paige can share my contact details. I'm here for you. So you guys have a wonderful night.
Awesome. Thank you again so much. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.